everyone was like, why do you even need to do something like this, right? You're doing so well. You're like, I was really being celebrated as a great jeweler in the city at that point. My real love is jewelry manufacturing. I love making beautiful jewelry. And that, to take it forward to a wider audience, is the birth of Caratlane. First thing is to figure out कि where you want to play. Jewelry industry is like the entire stock market. वो हिंदी कहावत है ना, 100 सुनार की एक लोहार की. So मैं तो सुनार ही था. Finally, Mithun will mean more than disco dancer.
You are man of the moment, but this moment has taken some time to come. I was reading that Caratlane you started in 2008. I started your story in 2008, and just feels what a tremendous journey you've made, and what a moment, not just for, I'm sure for you, but for everyone in the startup ecosystem, young people in the country, that, they can achieve this milestone, and a very strong validation that अगर अच्छा ब्रांड, अच्छा प्रोडक्ट और अच्छे से बनाओ तो अच्छा आउटकम निकलता है. What does it feel, this crazy kind of an outcome that you've achieved?
The outcome, Shradha, didn't feel as crazy as the love and adulation that has come after that. That is massively overwhelming. मैं तो बीमार हो गया 2 दिन, thinking about that, because I'm one of those guys who switches his phone off on my own birthday because I feel really awkward about it. And so for me, this sort of good feedback that everybody has, and sort of these moments which over the last 7 days, they're surreal. I mean, it's unimaginable, far greater than what any other outcome would be. And I'm sure that the business is benefiting also from this right now.
Mithun, if you could, share with us this journey, like 2008, I think you raised money in 2015, 16, and so tell us.
Yeah, actually raised money in 2011 ke koi some part mein.
Okay.
So let's divide this journey into 3 to 4 phases. 2008 to 11 was about survival. One, convincing the family, yes, I want to do this thing. I come from a jewelry business. I'd established that business in Chennai. Everyone was like, why do you even need to do something like this, right? You're doing so well. You're like, I was really being celebrated as a great jeweler in the city at that point.
उस समय ज्वेलरी बिजनेस जो था उसका नाम क्या था? वो कैरेटलेन था.
Jaipur Gems is my family business. I moved to Chennai to build that. So I moved to Chennai and I'd open Coimbatore, and it was, it's a sizable business itself also. Frankly, the dividends of that are what have kept me, allowed me to stay long in this business in a way as well also. So logic to the family was like, why would you want to do this? Like, why are you not doing what you're doing so well already at? And what's this urge to build something different and something new? And the reality was that everybody in that jewelry business, it had become a consensus business. Everybody was doing the same thing. High end, going after one set of audience, trying to build that. The top 1 to 3% of the country is what everybody goes after and sort of builds it. So, and only later in life I realized that the articulation frankly wasn't there back then. But now I realize that consensus businesses are actually no growth businesses. Because if everybody is doing the same thing, then how is it going to help in any which ways as well? It's like a stock. If everybody invests in the same stock, तो वो कहीं नहीं जाता फिर उसके बाद में. Yeah. So same way that was happening, and I really wanted to. And my real love is jewelry manufacturing. I love making beautiful jewelry, and that, to take it forward to a wider audience, is the birth of Caratlane in a way. So that happened in the 2008 phase. But when you open, and when we started out at that point, Gopal was my co-founder then, and Avnish had just joined us. That he was the first person to join, and then became a co-founder later. All of us would talk about it, and we realized that this is going to be a long, hard battle. And in my mind, I also realized that just because we opened a website doesn't mean that it's our birthright. People are going to shop over here, and we had to obviously solve and stay in for that. But through that phase also, through what we were doing and whatever those 4 years where we were not funded and we had very limited capital that we built our business on, just solving for cash flow through some B2B business that we were doing, we still grew 10x at that point. The base was very small, but we could do the 10x at that point. Then came Tiger Global money, and it came in a it was serendipity that he would reach out to us, and then we would sort of speak to him, and 1 hour later, typical Leaf Excel style, we had a term sheet.
Which year was that? 2000?
2011.
11. Oh.
And the 11 to 15 phases, we raised multiple rounds from them, and we had only one investor, Tiger Global. We had conversations with many others, but we realized as long as Tiger's there, there's no point going to somebody else as well. And in that 4 years, again, we grew 10x. So the first part gave us product market fit. The first, when we were alone. When we were with Tiger Global, we really learned how do you scale product market fit, or rather at scale, what is product market fit. And so Omni came out of that. After 2 or 3 incorrect attempts at trying to build that piece, in 2015, we really knew after Bangalore show that we'd crack that piece. And so we raised a big bunch of money, 30 million at that point from Tiger Global. And that's when Bhaskar, who was then the MD of Titan and obviously now on the board of Tata Sons, came down to Caratlane office. And now we were in this conundrum that we've just raised money, and then, these are the partners we really want to build long term with. Things played out in a certain manner, and then we were able to buy. We were able to help Titan buy Tiger Global out. It was a pure secondary transaction. And in that phase, once again, with their support, with their brand and with their balance sheet, etc., we've been able to grow 10x. So, and that was the scale-up phase of Caratlane. I think they're the right partners for the scale-up phase of Caratlane. So for me, each time it's been a 10x journey, whether we were alone, whether we were with Tiger Global, or whether we were with Titan. The only difference is that we got a lot of visibility when we were with Tiger Global. But when we were with Titan, we made sure that we put our head down and just build and scale up. Because in the ecosystem of Tatas or in strategics, a loss-making business has very low value itself. We realized that in 17, 18. And in the context of Titan, what noise am I going to make? They were like 20,000 crores and we were like 200 crores. Kya baat karenge se ja karke, right? It would look silly. And so we just put our head down and sort of built on that business. And we had right advice all throughout. We had the right kind of people around us who questioned us, not because we were losing money, but questioned us as to, okay, what does this loss in money mean for the consumer? Or what does it mean for the business? Those conversations we sort of never had before that. And those conversations, 3 people specifically had with us. One was a big influence in my life, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala then. Second was Bhaskar Bhatt, who continues to be the biggest influence around. And then Venkat, who was then the CEO of the Tanishq jewelry business, or rather the jewelry division of Titan, as they call it, and now the current MD of Titan. And I learned tremendously from 3 of them. The business learned tremendously from 3 of them. And when you cut out all this noise and just focus on what you need to deliver, you say that, okay, I won't raise capital again. And now let's see how can I build a sustainable business. Those constraints sort of helped us build a fabulous business after that. The first thing is to figure out where you want to play. Jewelry industry is like the entire stock market. Itna bada hai. You can play any place as such. So what is the blue chip area in that, or which is the growth area in that? We identified everyday jewelry to be that space. Everyday jewelry at the price point we were playing at, nobody plays at that price point. I'll give you a sense. Tanishq average price point is 1,50,000. Kalyan Jewelers, which is the other listed entity, is about 75, 80,000 average price point. Tangamail, etc., all are in that range. Nobody is there. And these are also dominated by gold jewelry, like 70 to 90% of the business is gold jewelry. So we realized that we are westernizing fast in India. Our clothing, etc., wearing to work is changing rapidly as well. And the jewelry has to be something that the daughter herself wants to buy. How long will you keep saying that ye mummy ki dukaan hai? And so the sliver that we chose was everyday jewelry, diamond, everyday wear diamond jewelry. And that 20,000 to 25,000 rupee price point is where we want to be. And for 10 years, however much the gold prices have been shooting up, we've been value engineering our products in a manner that our ASP does not rise. So we're able to still stay consistent to that piece and deliver that, price point, and then deliver for consumers value in terms of different designs, which they'll enjoy wearing on an everyday basis. And so that's where we started out, and that's what we're doing. Of course, as time goes by, you sort of keep building and adding more to your repertoire and doing that. We have some amazing stuff which is going to come in the next 1 year at Caratlane, where we're really understanding how can jewelry play a bigger and a better role in your life as well. I wouldn't spoil that for that party right now, but really we are obsessed about that. Now, if you look at repeat business, most traditional businesses have if you take lifetime repeat, you can't look at jewelry like fashion because the ASP is very different. A 500 and 1,000 rupee business has a very different ASP, and a 25,000 rupee business will have a very different ASP as well also. And jewelry is not changed at the same frequency you change clothes. So you have to look at repeat in that context. So the way we measure repeat in this, Shradha, is that you take the beginning of any financial year, or rather the end of any financial as a cutoff date. From that date to the 14 years back, which is the 14 years that Caratlane has done. If you take all those customers as unique people, how many of those unique customers will buy again this year? 25%. 25% of lifetime customers will once again buy this year in Caratlane. And that for us is a big testament of what we do, which means that 60% of target, 50% of target तो ऐसे ही हो जाएगा कि वही आ जाएंगे खरीदने के लिए वापस. We build that kind of loyalty, we build that kind of structure, and they're able to come back and do that part. It's very unique because the other businesses are at 5%. So they have to keep going and getting new customers every single day and doing that. So part of it has got to do with how well they're served. Second half of it has got to do with the fact that we're at a price point which is bite size. You can buy every year as well. And we work towards your anniversaries, your birthdays, and your occasions in your life, childbirth, etc., and work to solving all of that. Very easy in jewelry to keep saying I ladder up. Because it's so easy and so tempting. 2 transactions at the price of 1 is a great space to be in and do that, sir. But really, that's not where India is. India's mass will keep growing at the same price point. New people will enter over there. We study enough data in China and US to see that as well. At least in these things, I think India will mimic, behaviorally will mimic those parts. We might not mimic in what kind of jewelry, etc. But this behavior will certainly play out like that.
To the Indian consumers, to the new Indian consumers, does jewelry speak the same way that it did 20, 30, 40 years back?
Shradha, this is the job of the jeweler, not the job of the consumer. This is a job of using the influencer, staying relevant to the life of a consumer today and making that happen. I rarely ever see a person who's wanting to step out of the house in India not wearing some piece of jewelry. It rarely happens that you're not wearing some piece of jewelry. But if I only keep advertising wedding jewelry, and if I only keep advertising jewelry you can wear to one massive occasion in life and do all of that, and I walk away from your everyday life, then as a jeweler or as a category creator, I am losing out on that audience. And collectively, the consensus of the jewelry industry, which I was talking about earlier, was literally walking away from that. And so brands like us sort of recreated this space, and there's a pioneer brand before us which is doing as well, but somehow they sort of strayed off, which is Jilly.
Which one was that?
Jilly.
And do you remember something called Oyster Bay was also?
Yeah, but that was very, very early as well. Also, Oyster Bay, they were there, but didn't really make any dent. Jilly certainly made a dent in the market, but strayed from their path and sort of lost out. And we were just lucky with our timing also. And we were, at heart, we are jewelers. So that sort of helps as well. And so teams, which is a combination of people at heart who are jewelers, people at heart who are consumer specialists, and then putting all that together and sort of growing this with the magic of tech behind us.
Tell me, what are some of the, again, building blocks which are giving you, of course, one I definitely think could be pandemic, which would have seen a lot more people going online. But what are some of the things, again, I would love to learn from you, you're doing right to have this kind of growth?
You understand the sort of choice that consumers need in the store. You understand what is the throughput you need. How many people do you need really to improve your, how many people need to see you to be able to buy? So from the top of the funnel, you improve over there. Then you work on 5 items that you take on for the year to improve the conversion. And you say that 10% improve ho jaya to bahut hoga. So you either solve it through merchandising, or you solve it through availability, or you solve it with some way or the other as well. Second, the business by itself has built compounding. if 25% of last year's customers are again going to buy this year, the 25% growth is coming through naturally in the business.
Yeah.
And so we realized this in 2017. We used to be about 15, 16%. And that's the first time we looked at that data also that way. And once we realized कि इसको बढ़ाएंगे तो मतलब lifetime we're going to grow very well, we sort of worked on that, and I think our long-term goals are about 30%. That's why we'll take this to, and I have no doubt the team will do it. They are significantly smarter than, frankly, me being around over there. And it was a discovery of theirs, and they'll take that forward. So if we keep improving these areas and we keep bringing in something which is interesting at all times, the role of design now is to attract people and bring them in, because the core of the business is already set. And so we keep doing that, we'll be fine. I think the growth numbers, doing 3,000 plus this year, I don't think is even a challenge. It'll be how much above 3,000, that's the challenge.
What you got is 4,621 crores. What does it mean?
कम मिला
अब मिला, मगर क्या मिला? बहुत मिला.
कम मिला.
कम मिला.
Yeah. So it doesn't. Frankly, I would much rather keep the business than get the cash. But I understand that as a strategic player and as me as an individual, at some point this journey had to sort of diverge, and they felt the timing was right now, and they've been fair in the assessment. And you know, the beauty of a listed entity buying you is that the market gives you that information right away. If the stock price went up too much, I would think I sold too cheap. If the stock price went down, they would think they bought too expensive. The stock price moved by 1% at that point, and that tells you it's a fair deal across as well.
If I were in your place, I'm just thinking, oh my God, this kind of growth you're seeing, this kind of number, didn't you want to stay put for a little longer?
I would have loved to, but as long as my stay was written over there, and I decided that if they really wanted so badly, and they've been such great partners, then at some point you have to give in to their wishes as well also. 8 out of 10 I got my way. 1 or 2 they got their way. वो हिंदी कहावत है ना, 100 सुनार की 1 लोहार की. So मैं तो सुनार ही था.
What does it mean, this kind of money that you've made? And congratulations, because to me, like, anyone who makes this kind first generation in terms of, building a tech platform and earning this kind of money, somewhere it validates for a lot of young Indians that you can be a Mithun, you could also do this. What does it mean? Does it change anything for you now?
On a lighter note, finally Mithun will mean more than disco dancer. So, so I'm happy about that. I've had 40 odd years of this disco dancer attached to my name. So, frankly, the money is a score in life. It doesn't change life. It hasn't changed anything. I don't think it'll change anything either also. For me, deployment now becomes a bigger challenge than anything else, and what else to do. Business is compounding so beautifully. I doubt I'll find something else which does as well as what it was doing at that point. But yeah, I could become an enabler to other things and other activities that people are doing, and I look forward to becoming that. I'm excited about that journey, and I've made peace with the fact that I have moved on from Caratlane, and I look forward to working with partners who are interested in learning from my skill sets of compounding, and where I can put my capital to use and sort of work with them. That's an interest for me.
Does your family business continue?
It does. It continues. My brother runs it along with my parents, and he's more than able. He's done a great job, and we've stayed long in this business only because of his ability and their ability to sort of keep growing that piece, which gave us that, we didn't need to draw any cash out of this early on, and what a compounding it's had. It's all because of them.
आज इतने अच्छे मुकाम पे पहुंचे हुए कि चलो मैंने 1-2 चीजें अच्छी की और एक गलत किया, तो वो क्या होगा?
The one thing that I really feel that we did well is solve for partnerships. We built our business in partnerships always. So whether you think about our relationship with our consumers, we have the best repeat rate. In a way, that's a partnership with consumers. If you think of our business with relation to people who give sufficient time to Caratlane, I would say 5 years and above, I feel that they've had a great outcome themselves also. And And Tatas by themselves have not had an ESOP program, right? So it's something that we've had to run from what we had created from our own pool itself also as a family. And I'm so proud that now they have their own ESOP program and they're starting out with that in Titan, and I'm sure soon they'll do this in Caratlane as well also. So while these partnerships help you learn and help them learn, we were together solving for each other. While I might make 4,000, Titan shareholders have made 14,000 crores from their 400 crore investment. That is a massive outcome for them as well also.
Yeah.
I feel that at every stage I have valued partnerships, whether it's with individuals or with corporates equally. And I feel that has been something that everybody should think about and do. The one thing that I really feel I got wrong is that you look at other horses in the race and try and sort of build your own journey. That I feel was a mistake I did. So, for example, in Tiger Global days, we would look at not only our competitors like Bluestone, that was the only one really there then, but we would also look at Flipkart, or we'd look at Myntra, and we had no business looking at them because such different businesses. There's just no comparison between what they were doing and what we were doing, and we had not reached our inflection point for us to even think about what they were doing at all, and they were just far ahead. In order to sort of compete with them, you'd burn a lot more money than you really needed to. If you just stuck to how we built our business from 17 onwards, had we done that right from earlier, maybe today I might not have had to sell the business. And so I do feel that the destiny of me having to sell it also has got a lot to do with my decision making. It has very little to do with somebody else, and I think we all should accept that part into it. But I have to still be grateful for what I've done. But having said that, I would tell you that one must look at their own race, and then there's an idiom my grandfather used to tell me always: nazar, khabar, and jigar. And that your eyes must be open at all times to see what is happening around you. Your ears must be open at all times to listen to what is happening around you. But when the time is right, at that point, you must go all in. You must have the courage to go all in at that point. And that a lot of us go all in at the wrong time. And that I would tell you that timing that is the most important thing, because in life, that I think is one thing that you must get right.
ये जर्नी में कभी ऐसा नहीं लगा, क्योंकि एक बार ई-कॉमर्स वाज बीइंग बीटन अप सो मच, यू रिमेंबर देयर वाज अ फेज जब था कि पता नहीं इंडिया में हो नहीं रहा है, एंड फ्लिपकार्ट ये सब का भी वैल्यूएशन थोड़ा कम हुआ था बीच में. उस समय नहीं लगा दैट वर यू स्ट्रेस्ड एट दैट टाइम एंड डिडंट यू डाउट योर डिसीजंस दैट टाइम?
Shradha, doubt तो कई बार आया, but the beauty of difference between business and sports is one, कि sports में when you're serving at match point and you have a doubt at that point, you lose that point and you can lose the match. Luckily, business is a lot wider that way, and so if you have doubts also, you can recover from it. There are very few zero-sum moments in business itself also. So there's no doubt there were doubts, but luckily the fear didn't take grip on that whole on the doubt.
Starting something like Caratlane was also way ahead of its time, right? And having that kind of a vision or thinking or whatever to launch something was again a different kind of a risk and a very different kind of a long-term thinking that you brought.
Yeah, I mean, and also in your 20s, Shradha, you also know this. We take risks which are disproportionate. And I keep saying this, Scott Fitzgerald said something beautiful, that in your 20s, you see the world from top of a mountain. Every opportunity is a rolling stone. Whereas now in our 40s, we sit in a cave. All we want to do is protect what we have.
Will you be involved in Caratlane in any way now?
No, I won't be involved in the business, but I'll always be available for the business.
Look forward to seeing you in many, many more areas and places moving forward.
Thank you so much, Shradha, and thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you.